Hey, so what I wanted to do in this short video is I get a lot of questions. You're reading through the website, you like what you're seeing, but you're still not sure exactly what does this look like throughout the season. Especially today is May 8th. So what if you signed up today? Is it worth signing up for a program? Should I wait till next year? What can we do? So let's say you're a homeowner and you really look up and it's May 8th like today and your lawn is just filled with dandelions. You're starting to see some dead spots. It's just not exactly what you want. And so you call or you're coming to our site and you're trying to say, what do I do? What makes sense? So I just want to spend a quick little minute here telling you about what I would recommend and what we do to see if it's a good fit, if it's what you're looking for. So behind me, as you can see, March and April, I crossed them off because they're over. Generally, that's when you're going to, if you do pre-emergence, that's when you do a pre-emergent to stop crabgrass, which really doesn't germinate until July. But with the pre-emergent, you're putting it down in the soil as early as usually end of March, April, and the idea is it builds up a layer. So as it breaks down, so when the crabgrass seeds start germinating late June, early July, because when the heat, it prevents a barrier, and so they can't germinate. But at this point, you've missed that. You've missed your April. So now we're at peak weed season. So here's what we would do. So if you were to sign up and you said, okay, I'm not sure, it's May 8th, which it is today, what I would recommend is we would go ahead and get you started in May. Generally, the biggest thing we see, the issues are the broadleaf weeds are at their peak. So late April, early May is when the dandelions, most of them already seeded. If you see yellow heads, that means they've already seeded. All those little leaves inside of the head, they actually turn to seed, and so it'll go white, right? You've seen a white dandelion, and the wind blows it, and those seeds go. And so if you don't start something now, those seeds are just going to keep perpetuating and dropping into the soil, and then later this fall, so they'll plant now, and then this fall, September, October, as it cools down, the seeds that planted now start to germinate then, and then they come up the next year and the heads pop out. And so it's just a cycle. So here's what we recommend. In May, so if you were to sign up today, May 8th, we would start, our focus is the weed control. We're going to get the weeds under control. We have all kinds of great methods. We have some fully organic. We have some that are hybrid, depending on what it is you're looking for. So that's going to be our focus. It's also going to be over here the slow release. We're going to use a slow release fertilizer. The best thing about that is it breaks down over time. A lot of the fertilizers that you spray, maybe they're liquid, they don't have slow releases built in. A lot of times when you apply that to the soil, a majority of that actually gets lost. When you spray it down, evaporation pulls it out, pulls the particles out. And so 40-50% of that is actually effective. And the same thing can be happen with granulars. So when by adding the slow release into it, whether it's liquid or granular, only a certain amount will be available right away. So it's like eating a big meal. Sometimes you're hungry, your body needs nutrition, and maybe you stop and you have a good meal, and then you overeat. And once you get the nutrition you need, anything over is just excess, and that's how I look at slow releases. So we're going to get you a nice slow release fertilizer. Maybe 40% will be available to the plant right away. The other 60 will break down over time. So we're also going to be looking into insects and grub problems. If you have a history of insects and grubs in the past, we're going to put you on a program that's going to be, we're going to just add that into your plan. If you haven't had a history, then you can opt out of that, and if they do show up, let us know. If you have any questions, send pictures, and we'll go ahead and try to help you along that. And in a dream world, we don't want to use insecticides, and we have organic versions, but they can be very pricey. And so our goal is to meet the needs of what you have, and so a lot of times that's the things you're going to be looking for in May. So if you sign up today, May 8th, what we do, because it is peak weed season and you've missed round 1 and 2, which are for preventative things, it's some parts of it, we would do the first treatment, let's say today. Your next treatment, if your lawn is really bad, would be about 2 weeks later. So it's very early. Generally, we're on a 4.5 week schedule. You'd be on a 2 week schedule because they're so bad. And the products we use they're gonna kill a little slower. And sometimes when it's really bad, it takes a second visit. So you would get your second visit about the 3rd week in May, and then we'd get you on a regular schedule. As we move into June, we're going to do a prep for the summer drought. Everybody in Utah knows we get rain I think it's raining outside right now, I can hear it. But then when you come into the summer months, especially mid-June, July, August, it just doesn't rain until the end of August. And you may see brown spots pop up. We can talk about that another time, what those are. So we're trying to prevent something called drought stress, which is just, think about it, we're mile high, so we're close to the sun in Utah, and it's dry and the sun is so hot, and so your lawn is just baking, and you might have a great green lawn. Some areas you may have brown spots. So we're going to try to start in June to prepare for that. We're also going to apply another slow release fertilizer. It's going to have a different micronutrient rate than this fertilizer, both of these will have organics into the program. That's built into all of our products. As we move into July, we're in the peak summer, late July. So we're dealing with so we're going to go ahead and put a compost tea. And when it's that hot or over 90 plus days, you don't want to over fertilize. You actually could stress the lawn. So we try to get the fertilizer, slow release the best ones in the spring, fall, that time of thing. In the summer, you want to try to help the soil survive. And so we're going to roll with some compost teas, which is just recycled earthworm poop castings, right? And organic products. We're going to spray liquid products from the lawn to help build and strengthen the soil to survive the summer. One thing that we're also going to do, I forgot to mention, is crabgrass. So the seeds that you put down, the pre-emergents that we don't always use them, and there's another story there, but in March, April, those you put the pre-emergents down then to prepare for this July crabgrass. Mid to late July, you're going to start seeing crabgrass come. And so we will help treat for that. We'll do a post-treatment. If you now look at your lawn and you see patches of grass, chances are it's not crabgrass. Crabgrass doesn't generally germinate before it gets to a certain degrees below the soil. It could be a pasture grass, a wild grass. And we can always help you with that. You can take a picture, hey, what is this grass? And I can tell you what it is and what we have to do to treat it. So we're going to deal with crabgrass. As we move into August, that crabgrass is actually going to be at its peak. So we're going to continue to work with your crabgrass that comes up. We're going to do a soil and root builder. So a lot of this treatment, it's a fertilizer with high potassium and some organics developed to take the root system. So here's if this is your soil line, your grass blades are up here, and you have all these roots, the longer and healthier those roots are, the better your lawn does in June, July, in the stress. And so August is the best time, late August, September, best time to focus on that and feed those roots. And then we move, and just so you know, this is a rough idea. It's going to change throughout the year if we get hot season, cool season, too rainy, but this is a rough idea of what we're looking at. As we move into September, October, that's kind of our shutting down for the season. So we're going to do some fall treatments. We might do some winterizer. It just depends on where you fall on the schedule. But this is a rough idea of what we can help you with if you signed up today on May 8th. Some people say, oh, it's not worth it. But it is, because you got to start at some time if you're looking to improve your lawn. And as we've talked about the seeds, from right now, the dandelions and the broadleaf, they're going to come up. In the summer, in June, July, you're going to have thistle, you're going to have spurge weed, all the thick viney weeds. And so you need to start now preparing for that. The other thing in September, October, and we also do it in April and May, is you want to look at does your lawn need to be power raked? Does it need to have aeration? And I have videos to teach you, so you can find out for yourself if you need that. And that's a service you can a lot of people do themselves. And then overseeding. If you have bare spots, if your lawn is thin, in the spring, fall is the time to go ahead and seed those areas so that you can have a thicker lawn. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea of what this would look like as far as the program. I know it's not exact. Depends on, like I said, the weather, the temperatures. The products change. If we get a really hot and dry summer, we may change some products. But in a nutshell, this is what we do. And if you have any more questions, we have videos. You can call us. You can reach out to Carolee. We'd love to help you.